Okay, go ahead.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting, specifically the time, date, and public call-in information were included in the meeting that was electronically sent to the Echo Sentinel and posted on the Township website. The agenda and public handouts for this meeting can be viewed online at www.longhillnj.gov. A public comment period will be held in the order it is listed on the meeting agenda. When the mayor opens up public comment portion, if you're using a computer and would like to add a public comment, please raise your hand. To raise your hand, click the participants button on the bar located on the bottom of your screen. Once the bar pops up, scroll to the right and there will be an option to raise hand. If you're dialing in and would like to make a public comment, press *9 when the mayor opens up public comment.
Thank you, Megan. I apologize to the public. I'd like to open up the February 10th Township Committee meeting at 7:37 p.m. If everybody could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Megan, be kind enough to take roll.
Committeeman Dorsey?
Here.
Committeeman Lavender?
Here.
Committeeman Verleza?
Present.
Deputy Mayor Ray?
Present.
Mayor Paserchia?
Present. So I think to start off, and this is, I think, what the Township Committee's, one of the Township Committee's favorite things to do. We have a young man in town who has earned the rank of Eagle Scout. I see his mom there, Catherine Marshall. Now, is Timothy with us this evening? Yep, I see him right now. You're listed as Catherine as well, by the way. So if I could, Megan, how best to do it? Should I read the proclamation first or let young Mr. Marshall describe his project first?
You can read the proclamation, and then I have pictures as well that they sent me today, so we could take a look at them, and then he can explain the project to us in more detail.
Perfect. So Timothy, what I'm going to do is read the proclamation, and then we'll proceed as Megan indicated. So, Township of Long Hill, Office of Mayor, proclamation. Whereas the Boy Scouts of America is a volunteer organization and is one of the nation's largest and most prominent values-based youth development organizations. Whereas Timothy Marshall has spent 7 years with the Boy Scouts and held leadership positions with Troop 59, including senior patrol leader. Whereas Timothy Marshall has achieved the prestigious rank of Eagle Scout due to his dedication and volunteerism in his community. Troop 59 of the Boy Scouts of America, Sterling, New Jersey, has asked Long Hill Township to join them in recognizing his numerous achievements. Whereas Timothy Marshall has demonstrated the spirit of volunteerism through his Eagle project, which consisted of constructing a fence along a pathway at St. Vincent de Paul Church and digging holes and planting small bushes at the base of the fence. Whereas Timothy Marshall played football and ran track and will graduate from Watchung Hills Regional High School in June 2021. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the mayor and the Township Committee of the Township of Long Hill in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, and on behalf of the residents of Long Hill Township on February 10th, 2021, that Timothy Marshall be hereby recognized and congratulated on his achieved rank of Eagle Scout. So typically, Timothy, and when we're live and the public's there, we would applaud. So we're going to applaud now. And at this stage, and we're going to get the proclamation to you. It's going to be framed. Megan is always very kind to do that. And I do wish we could have done this in person. So I think at this point, Megan, should we allow Tim to describe the project as you use the the PowerPoint presentation that you have? How best for that to?
Absolutely. I can continue to share the pictures that was sent over. And Timothy, if you want to go more into detail over the project, you just have to unmute yourself.
Yep, that works for me.
Tim, the floor is yours. Tim, by the way, do we call you Tim or Timothy? What do you prefer?
I usually go by Tim, but either one is fine.
Tim, and definitely not Catherine, right?
Yeah.
All right, Tim, the floor is yours.
So as Mr. Pasocio said, pretty much the project included putting a fence up behind the St. Vincent Church. In that first picture, you can see how there are a bunch of trees and stuff in the area. So those were removed by a service that Father Richard had come in. And then the area was a lot more cleaner, but we still needed something to protect the air conditioning units in the back. So we dug, I believe, 14 holes, and then we put posts in there. And then along those, we had the fencing. As you can see, in that third picture there, about half the fencing is in. So we did that around the corner, and then we had to paint the fence. And then from there, we also had to paint the back. And then afterwards, we dug 5 holes, I think, for some bushes and trees. 6 holes for some bushes and trees. And then we planted those, and I had to go back and water them for a few weeks and take care of those. And then they're still out back growing. So hopefully, I mean, they die a bit in the winter, but in the springtime, they bloom, and it looks a lot nice, a lot nicer than it did originally with all the trees and stuff that were always knocked down whenever there were storms. So that's pretty much what the project was.
So Tim, as you know, I'm a parishioner at St. Vincent de Paul, and I have to commend you and some, there were a couple of other projects that have taken place over the years at St. Vincent's, the steps going up in the front, and then I think near the playground. So the Boy Scouts and the Eagle Scout projects that you guys have done really have improved that property. So from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the entire community, thank you.
Thank
So I
you.
don't know, I mean, I think a lot of our committee members, you know a lot of our committee members. I don't know if anybody wants to say a few words as well. Scott, you've probably worked anyway, so I'll turn the mic over to anybody who wants to speak.
Yeah, no, great work, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. That's great work. So, are you thinking about taking off professionally? That's certainly that's certainly quite the resume you have in those photographs for it.
Yeah, thank you. It was a nice one-time thing, but I enjoyed the one event.
I don't think it was appropriate that Committeeman or Deputy Mayor Ray was implying that maybe he needed a fence on his property. I don't know if that was the direction you were going there.
And Tim, last question: Have you picked a college yet?
Well,
Not yet, but I'm still looking into it. So
Good luck.
yeah, thank you.
I found out with both of my children, they hated that question from anybody. So I distanced myself from Committeeman Lavender asking you that question.
Congratulations, Tim. This
Thank
is
you.
Committeeman Velez. I have friends that are that have achieved that high honor of Eagle Scout. It's something they're proud of to this day, and it's a bragging right for the rest of your life. God bless you. I've also had the pleasure of digging fences like that when I was younger. Not an easy job. Those post hole diggers for the post hole digger for those posts is a killer. Making that fence nice and straight like you did is not easy. Well done. Thank you.
How long did the project take from beginning to completion?
I think it was about 140 hours, but that included like paperwork and all that kind of stuff. So
That's a lot of time, a lot of time. So again, thank you on behalf of the community at large.
thank you. And thank you for having me.
And Catherine, good seeing you.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome to stay if you want.
He's got a scout meeting now. He's got business to do.
Ah,
Important business.
All right. Thank you, guys.
picking colleges.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now on to maybe less mundane or more mundane issues. So we have ordinance 20-21. This is first reading, introduction, an ordinance concerning street openings and amending chapter 20 of the Township Code entitled Streets and Sidewalks. Now, Jack, did you want to give a brief explanation of what we're doing? I know this is a bit of a cleaning up situation.
Yeah, sure. Basically, before we just had reference to a 5-year moratorium, but there was no process set up for how that was dealt with. So really, I just added a new section at the end entitled moratorium. I made the Township Public Works Manager responsible for monitoring the projects. I said that the engineer could grant emergency waivers from the 5-year moratorium, and any non-emergency had to come to the Township Committee. It also sets forth the type of improvement that has to be done to restore the pavement using infrared pavement method. And I know Paul made 2 minor changes to clarify things, but that was the intent of the ordinance, was to give structure to the whole process of waivers to the moratorium.
Thank you, Jack. So any questions from the committee? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve ordinance 47-021? Again, this is first reading. It is introduction.
So moved.
Megan?
Committeeman Dorsey,
Yes.
Committeeman Lavender,
Yes.
Committeeman Verleza,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Ray,
Yes.
Mayor Paserchia.
Yes.
And for the record, Mayor, the public hearing is scheduled for March 10th.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Jack. So second reading, and at the second reading, before adoption, the public will have a chance to ask questions or opine.
That's right.
Moving on, agenda number 6, the consent agenda resolutions. Are there any resolutions that any member of the committee would like removed for further discussion? Seeing none, looking for a motion to pass resolution numbers 21-047 through 21-057.
So moved.
Second.
Can I have a motion to approve 21-47 through 21-57?
Yes, Committeeman Lavender made the motion and Deputy Mayor Ray made the second. So roll call, Committeeman Dorsey,
Yes.
Committeeman Lavender,
Yes.
Committeeman Verleza, Deputy Mayor Ray,
Yes.
Mayor Paserchia.
Yes. So now can we go on to liaison reports? I always hate calling on somebody in case they aren't quite ready. Is anybody so ready to want to raise their hand? I see Committeeman Verleza is ready to go.
He's chomping at the bit.
All right.
Vic, hold on one second. Your internet, am I the only one hearing feedback here?
No, it's, yeah.
Boss, I think we all have to go on mute. That's what happened last time.
All right, so let's go on mute and let Vic go.
Am I ready? No one can answer. I'm going to go. All right, Wednesday night family game nights continue. Tonight we play Mystery Bag. Many thank yous go out to our partner, Chimney Rock of Gillette, for providing gift cards to our winners. All games are free for Long Hill families. Virtual babysitting training class on February 20th. There are still spots available. Designed to, oh wait, let me do that again. Virtual babysitting training classes on February 20th. There's still spots available. It's designed to teach students to be safe when they are home alone, watching siblings, or babysitting. It's for grades 6 through 12. Register on Community Pass. We also have clay ceramic workshop for kids and adults. Multi-step virtual classes where participants will make a soup bowl. As part of its initiative, we will be collecting cans of soup to donate to our local food pantries. Register for that on the Community Pass also. Spots are still available and classes start next week. As a quick reminder, that outdoor gatherings are still limited to 25 people per executive ordinance number 204. And if we're lucky, our annual egg hunt is scheduled for March 27th. Hopefully we'll see you all there. And that concludes our the rec update.
Vic, thank you. We always appreciate the passion you bring to that rec report.
Ron Burgundy lives.
Ryan.
What was the dog's name again? I forget in that movie. Anyway,
Baxter.
Baxter, that's right. Baxter. How could I forget Baxter? Matt, you look ready to go. So I think everybody go on mute just in case that we get too much feedback.
All right, I could be pretty quick. Thank you, DPW. I know you guys I saw you Tuesday morning. You look like zombies, but you still got out there and got the job done as always. And as I said to you, the best compliment you're going to get is no complaints on Facebook. So great job, everybody at the DPW. The roads were clear. There were no accidents that I'm aware of. And everybody got home safe, which is the most important thing. So great job. And I'd like to also congratulate Dominic Beef Urso. He's a new hire. And also Jack Remington got appointed to, I guess he's an adult firefighter now for Sterling. So there's my liaison report. Oh, and the DPW is currently working on widening the roads right now. So you see them out there with the plows. That's what they're doing to increase the sight lines and make the roads safer. So great job, guys, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. Let's go to Brendan.
All right, thanks, Mayor. I'll give the police liaison report for February 10th. Self-initiated activity and calls for service year to date. That's just the calls that have been that our officers have responded to. So far, there have been 2,416. The school activity is a little bit down, but nevertheless busy, 261. Motor vehicle stops year to date, 116. Community policing and proactive residential radar posts, 302. And there have been 3 incidents so far that have led to the arrest of 4 miscreants. And so here we are, not even the middle of February, and we're well on our way to another year of record arrests. So thanks to all the officers. Just a special request from the chief, and it's really all about the recent snowstorms that we've had. Please ensure that vehicles are off the roadways, the sidewalks are shoveled, and snow is off private property. Snow from private property is not pushed or dumped into the roadway in accordance with all applicable ordinances. Our motor vehicle and criminal laws remain in effect during the storm. I'm getting feedback. I don't know if everybody else is.
I just muted Vic.
Okay, thanks. So the police, so as I said, our criminal laws remain in effect during the storms. The police department received several complaints for ATVs in the roadways during the past storm, as well as one resident towing a juvenile behind their vehicle via a rope and snow tube during the first major storm that we had a week ago on Sunday. So while the majority of our residents heed this request and cooperate, we can't allow the few to distract from storm operations, and so the chief urges full cooperation with that. So that concludes the police liaison report. And what I'd like to do, Mayor, if just give a quick update from the COVID-19 task force. I think at the stage we're at right now, last year at this time, maybe a little bit on through March, April time, we were all scrambling to get COVID tests. And now wherever we go, they seem to be quite plentiful. There's absolutely no problem with them. This year, we're in much the same situation with vaccine. And I'm hearing lots of reports on social media about complaints about the vaccine access to vaccine issues. And basically, what I'd like to say is that our state and county partners are doing a terrific job, and basically any problems that we are facing right now as far as getting appointments for vaccination are all down to vaccine supply, just as they were with the test supply back last year. And I think it was within the next hopefully short few months we'll have enough vaccine supply and we'll be able to open up local places where it'll be much easier to get vaccine administered. And so for the moment, I just urge everybody to be patient and be understanding of the job that the state has undertaken in the mass vaccination program that's been run right now. I don't think we've ever done anything like this before, and they're doing a terrific job. There are frustrations, I get it, about registrations, but that really comes down to vaccine supply. And as I say, that hopefully that's something that is going to be rectified in the near future. The COVID-19 task force, we're having a meeting next Tuesday, and we're actually, a big part of that meeting is going to be on helping our residents get access to vaccine appointments. And there'll be a discussion right now. There'll be a discussion then, and we'll start to provide information in the usual channels, usually the COVID-19 webpage, as to how we're going to try and help as much as we can have our residents. And I'm thinking here the elderly and others who don't have access to the internet or other means of scheduling. And so that's something that we'll, as I say, we're going to discuss it and we'll roll it out next week. And just the final thing I'll say on that topic actually comes from the county, and it's just to let everybody know, and this is that the registration for vaccine is going to be done through Atlantic Health. We'll put this information out on the web page, but if you want to receive a vaccine in Morris County through the Morris County Regional Vaccination Centre, that's the one in Rockaway, the first step in the process is to sign up for an appointment alert with Atlantic Health System. And if once you've signed up there, then you'll get a confirmation email acknowledging that registration, and basically you're set. You will receive a notification of appointment after that. And this is the beauty of doing it through Atlantic Health System is that whenever you do that, you'll get information on not just the mega centre in Rockaway, but also all of the other Atlantic Health sites in the area, and you'll be able to choose a location that might be a little bit more. It might be better for you. So that just came out today. We'll have it up on the website shortly, and again, it's just another indication of how the state and the county are doing their best to make sure that the infrastructure is there for administration of the vaccine. And once we have vaccine supply, once it's plentiful, then the actual administration will be pretty seamless. So thanks for that, Mayor. That's my report.
Oh, wait, Brendan, at the meeting next week I spoke to Shane about this. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. Can you bring up notification to the Spanish-speaking residents? Because I've spoken to a few of them, and the issue is I think there's some misconceptions about the vaccine, and also they don't know I don't think they have enough information that a lot of us do on how to get it and some other things. So I have some people in the community that have been helping out getting the info out, but I think I don't want them to get neglected. during this whole process. And I also told Shane, if you call Dover, they probably have everything in Spanish form. So if we need them, like Spanish speaking material, we can get it from them. So thank you.
Okay, thanks, Matt. I'll do that. Thank you.
And Brendan, if I can add to it, because some residents have expressed, concern for some of the more senior residents in town in terms of navigating, the computer registration, et cetera. I know Shane, our OEM director, Shane Daly, and Deputy Director Linda Olmsted have been working with seniors in town. So if you could speak to that as to how they can reach out to Shane and Linda in order to seek assistance if they need it in the challenge of registering for the vaccine.
Yeah, absolutely, Mayor. The one thing that Shane's been doing work and Linda and their organization, and I think it's just packaging that and then getting that information out to the community, because the work's already there. We just need to get the information out so that we can help people actually with the final piece, which is getting the appointments for vaccine.
Thank you, Brendan. And last but not least, Scott.
Yeah. Megan, do you mind if I share my screen for a second?
Do you have the ability? Yep.
I think so. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, so just to follow on to what Brendan was saying, you may not be aware that our contractual health agency for Long Hill Township is Bernard's Township, and they are offering free COVID-19 testing tomorrow, Thursday, February 11th, starting at 9 a.m. There's no cost. It requires an appointment. If you go to bernardshealth.org and navigate to COVID-19 testing, you'll come across this flyer, which gives you all the information. Again, it's for people with or without symptoms, age 5 through adult. They do the PCR test, which is very accurate. And Brendan, I'm glad you brought up, they also have this information in Spanish as well. So, we should be able to get this out to our folks. So I just wanted to kind of socialize that and let folks know that, vaccinations are one thing, and also making sure that you don't have it is another. So if you feel you need to get tested, there's that opportunity tomorrow right down the street.
Thank you, Scott. So I don't have anything in particular to report, so I want to add on to what Matt said. A huge thank you to Al Gallo and his DPW team. The work they did through that storm was amazing. So many compliments that we've received, really, that go out to DPW, not anything that the Township Committee did. I wasn't out there with a shovel, so thank you, and thank you to our first aid squad, our fire companies, OEM and CERT, and to our police department, because it's always a challenge when you get a storm of that nature. So thank you for everything you do. At this point, Nancy, if I could turn it over to you for the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I only have one thing, and it is from the Morris County MUA regarding recycling. And they just wanted to remind our residents that the maximum weight for a recycling container when it's full is 50 pounds. So they're recommending that people use containers that are no larger than 32 gallons so that that'll avoid exceeding the 50-pound weight limit once it's full. And they would prefer that you use a lid to prevent rain from getting in the buckets, and handles. So they said do not use the large 64 or 95 gallon carts. It says that they have stores are now selling carts that have wheels that are too big, because I don't know, with the ones with the big wheels, it will exceed the weight that you're allowed to have. So 50 pounds is the max, including the can. And just a reminder that All recyclable materials must be empty and free of any food, and no plastic bags. The only exception for plastic bags is if you are recycling shredded paper, and that can only be in a clear plastic bag, but you can't put your regular recycling in a plastic bag, and you can't include it, any bags in with the recycling. That's all I have.
Thank you, Nancy. So let's move on to agenda item number 9. That's a discussion regarding the community center plowing. I know this is something that was brought to your attention, Nancy, so perhaps you can guide us.
Yes, I got a letter from the community center, and they were requesting that the DPW plow their parking lot when it snows. And as a reminder or information for the new committee people, the township does own the property and rent it to the community center for $1 a year. And we do plow the senior center, which we also own and lease out.
Have you spoken with Al about this? I mean, is it something that?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And as long as they understand, which I have explained it to them, as long as they understand that it can't be a priority. The priorities are the fire departments, police department, and the roads. And they understand that, because if it's that bad weather, they're probably not having the event anyway. So they're usually, at the end of the list. So Al said, as long as they understand that, then he's okay with it. As you know, it's right next to their building. So they just do it on the way back.
Yep. I don't see an issue with it, but I'll turn it over to the committee for comment. Scott, we'll start up I think you're in Marsha Brady's spot now. You moved around a little there. So we'll go to you first.
No, I think it's reasonable as long as they know where the priority is.
Beck,
No problem with it.
Brandon,
Yep, that's good.
Matt?
I'll defer to Al, but I don't think the whole thing needs to be plowed, like the whole back lot or anything, because like Nancy said, it's nothing going on there anyway. So maybe the front spots and near the donation boxes, but the whole thing doesn't need to be plowed. But I'll leave that up to the DPW.
Okay, so I think, Nancy, we're
Okay.
pretty clear on that one.
Okay. Thanks.
So old business, new business, agenda item number 10. We'll do it again. Scott,
No old business here. No new business.
Vic,
I'm good.
Brandon,
I'm good.
Matt? All right, so we'll go on to, we have a couple of folks that need to resign from the rec committee. Megan, I do announce their names. Is that the proper way to do this? Okay, see, Dana Johnstone, effective January 19th, and Tim Dowd, effective February 10th. We do have one rec committee volunteer to be added, or is that not?
Lisa had put out something on Facebook, and she would prefer, once they all actually apply to
Okay,
advisory committee, to do it all together. So
all
yeah,
right, so I won't
came in
announce.
that we will be
Okay,
appointing at the next meeting.
all right, so we do have some new members that are lining up. As always in Long Hill Township, we see it all the time. Whenever the call goes out for volunteers, in come the caring folks that we have here. So we will have some more members of the rec committee at a future meeting. Okay. So announcements, if I could, and Brendan, I wasn't ignoring you. It looked like I was reading a newspaper earlier, but there were a couple of things I wanted to announce, and it happened to be in the Long Hill Leader. Girl Scout Troop, Long Hill Girl Scout Troop, 6604. They are 5th graders. They worked with the Sterling Fire Department to collect aluminum cans. It's called the ACBC program. It's aluminum cans for burned children, a program held at St. Barnabas Hospital. And they were able to raise $200 for this incredible cause. So a shout out to the Girl Scout, again, Junior Troop 6604. Also a shout out to Miss Lydia Chu of Gillette. She has now become the head instructor at Subak Do Karate of Gillette. But the real announcement there is she has just been promoted to her 6th degree black belt. For anybody who knows anything about Taekwondo, that is an extremely high rank. But a shameless plug for those who don't know it, my daughter is a 4th degree black belt, and my son is a 3rd degree. And my daughter, what that means, if you're 4th degree, you can open up a dojo anywhere in the world as you are sanctioned by the organization that's held in Seoul. And I'm sure if my daughter is watching right now, I'm in a lot of trouble. Anyone who's ever gone to the Raptor Trust has seen Ukla. He was a great horned owl who lived his entire life essentially at the Raptor Trust. He passed away early January, and I'm told, and Chris Susi had pointed this out, that he was the 2nd oldest great horned owl on record. And he lived almost his entire 40 years from the time he was just a few weeks old at the Raptor Trust. For those who don't know, the Raptor Trust is a nonprofit organization located in Millington on White Bridge Road. If you don't and have not gone there, I strongly encourage you to. The article pointed out something very interesting. Ugla, which was his name, and I want to make sure the reason I'm looking, I want to make sure I got his sex right. It is in fact a he. Ugla means owl. And so what happened is we had a 1st generation Swedish lady who lived in town. And when she saw Ugla, when he was a baby, said Ugla. And Chris's dad, who I guess didn't really know, and his mom, they named her Ugla. And then he found out later that it in fact meant owl. So rest in peace, dear Ugla. And then a sad note, and I think many of us knew Arlene Most. She was the director of the Long Hill Township Library from 1993 to 2005. She was certainly one of the influential people in why the library that we currently have exists. So if, a big shout out to Arlene, and if I could just ask for a quick moment of silence. Thank you. Moving on, at this point, I would like to open up the meeting to the public. For anybody there, if you could, try to be respectful to other speakers who might want to say something. If you could try to limit your comments to 3 minutes. At this point, to be clear, you can comment, ask questions on any topic. It doesn't have to be related to something that was on tonight's agenda. So Megan, did we receive any written questions or comments before the meeting?
We did not, Mayor.
Thank you, Megan. And do we have any, I don't see any hands just yet.
Mr. Sandow has his hand raised.
Oh, and I'm going to embarrass Mr. Sandow momentarily. I won't even wait. Dennis, it's a day late. I just want to wish you on behalf of the committee and the entire community, happy birthday.
Mr. Sandow, if you could unmute yourself and state your name and your address for the record, please.
Those are words that aren't used often with Dennis, that he would have to unmute himself. I don't think he normally needs to be encouraged.
And I think you should also, in addition to his name and address, his age maybe as well.
That's inappropriate, Deputy Mayor Ray. Dennis, are you there?
I'm here, Dennis Sandow, Windsor Way, Millington. And Mayor, I have to talk to you about this age thing, because if you get into a little minor fender bender, or if somebody hits your car in the ShopRite parking lot, you can be absolutely sure that the police blotter, which is published in the newspaper, is going to publish your age. They can't identify you in any other way by your address or your sex or any other orientation, but they are allowed to print your age. So don't ever get hit in the ShopRite parking lot or your age will be all over the newspaper.
You know, I never knew that. So I guess that's a legal thing because you often see, you know, so-and-so Brendan Ray, 93. So that's why the age is there?
Well, it's the only personal demographic that is not prohibited by the Attorney General. Now, the police have to publish your age, but they want you to know that they know a little bit something about you, so they publish your age because that's the only thing they can publish.
You know, see, Dennis, I learned something every time I speak with you. So thank you.
Well, that really is not the reason for my asking to speak tonight. I want to talk about this follow me hysteria about shots and testing and so on for COVID. All we're ever doing is reporting what somebody else tells us we need. I signed up with the state website for a shot, and I was told that watch your email now, and we'll send you more instructions. Well, geez, thanks a lot. That's not really very helpful. Then I find out that the Atlantic Health has a sign-up list. I don't know where to turn. I don't know if I'll ever get a shot. There's a lot of redundancy, but the thing that annoys me the most is that Bernard's Health, which we're paying a large amount of money to be our health officials, they're not doing a thing for us. They send out announcements that if you want to get this, go to PPAC, and if you want to get that, go to Mendham. They never have anything here. We've got the senior center, which is sitting there idle right now because of the pandemic. The town was able to use it for voting in November because it was a nice large hall that was clean and otherwise unused. There is no reason why Bernard's Health should not organize health events in the Long Hill Senior Center, make them available just like they make available the events they hold in Mendham. Who wants to drive to Mendham to get a test? Now, I know that the one that they're holding tomorrow is in Basking Ridge, but the next one could be anywhere. Well, if it could be anywhere, then tell Berners to make arrangements to hold it in the senior center so that our own seniors can get their testing without having to try to figure out how to drive through Morris County.
Mayor, if I could just, oh, sorry, Dennis, I thought you were finished.
No, you go ahead, Brendan.
No, Dennis, I just wanted to, I get, the frustration, but again, it really, as far as the vaccine's concerned, I just want to make that, crystal clear to everybody. It's a vaccine supply issue. We are, this system, whenever you look at the enormity of what's been undertaken in this country since late December last year, as far as vaccine administration is concerned, they have done an amazing job in getting to where they are today. It's not perfect by any manner of means. I mean, I think we're kind of building the ship as it sails in many respects, but the announcement that was made today about Atlantic Health, that's just the state is trying to as soon as they identify problems, they're trying to fix them as best they can. And as I say, whenever vaccine supply is plentiful, then all of these things are going to completely disappear. And there will be, there won't be this frustration right now that everybody has around getting an appointment will disappear. Then the other thing is just as far as the Bernard's Health is concerned, and Nancy, maybe you want to talk about this too. I mean, they have tried to stage some of these types of events here in Long Hill, and just given the timeframes that they have, they've been unsuccessful. And so I don't want to, I think you're giving them a bad rap unnecessarily. They are trying to do things here in town, and we just haven't been able to make it work for one reason or another. But it's not it's not anything to do with them.
with all due respect, Brendan, they have been approached by the administration at the senior center, and they sort of threw up their hands and say, so what? And what I'm suggesting is maybe the township committee or the Long Hill Board of Health should put the squeeze on them to do something in town. I can't think of a single event that they have held in town for the 7 or 8 towns that they operate in. It always goes somewhere else. They have no interest in coming here. And like I said, they have rejected approaches by the senior center administrator. It's time to put some muscle on them to get our share of what we're paying for. And with respect to the scheduling, I hear you on the scheduling. The only thing I can say about the scheduling is that they obviously learned scheduling from DMV. Congratulations. And when they do send me an email at 8 weeks from now and tell me where to go, I'll probably find out the next day that particular place is closed.
Well,
I'm not enthusiastic about, I'm getting tons of information and absolutely no useful data.
yeah, I get it, and really, you're the source of it, Dennis. You're frustrated. I get it, but as I say, whenever you look at the enormity of the task that's been undertaken in this country and in this state, we're actually doing pretty well. And there's just there's some teething here, problems that we're seeing at the moment. But I just think I just have to bear with them. And as I said before, we saw it with COVID testing, this time last year, and now there's absolutely no problem getting a COVID test. And you can actually go to Walgreens and sign up to get a PCR test, and soon they'll have the rapid test there. So it's just kind of like, bear with everybody while we're getting through the stage that we're at right now. And as I say, the root of it is vaccine supply, and none of us have any control over that.
I understand vaccine supply, but if there's a shortage, let's not overhype the availability or the schedule or make promises. What we should do is we should get some dates set up in the Long Hill Senior Center so that Bernard's Health can get these shots there when they're available, instead of blowing off Long Hill like they have been doing.
Right. The only thing I'll say there is I really have to say once again, you're being very hard on Bernard's Health, and I think you're being unfair to them and the job that they do. Because I do know that we haven't been able to make things work in town whenever they've wanted to put things in place for us. So, but let's just leave it at that.
As the mayor always says at the end of these open sessions, thank you for your opinion.
Input. Sometimes I say input. Thanks,
a lot.
Dennis. And do you have any other comments?
No, that's it.
Questions? All right. The meeting is still open to the public for comments. I don't see any hands raised. Going once,
Mayor.
twice, 3 times. All right. Well, seeing none, I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, just pray to the snow gods we don't get any more snow this weekend.
The storm is moving north.